long I tried to prove my worth according to their rules. Parents, lovers, friends, employers, countless strangers, and correspondence known through text and screen. If I earned enough, healed enough, diminished enough, I might be palatable. Otherwise, my presence was a burden. Even as a child, go take your crayons and try not to bother anyone. Well, the joke is it worked. Within my words, I rewrote myself, not until I became lovable, but until I realized the problem was the standard by which I measured worth. As I write, this breath moves through me, and I'm aware of all the complaints of the body, but it does not matter. This line of light holds my love. Love becomes the state of being, delight in the complete mess and potential for art. It makes me wish I could still manage grand, futile gestures of sculpting, painting. Oh, the throwing. I sold my wheel, and it traveled to its new home. There's no grief inside this moment, but gratitude in abundance that I became a master at something that was so hard. 4 years of ghastly pottery before I threw that perfect bowl. Oh, and so many hundreds and thousands after. I love the memory, the proof that lingers of how loveliness can come from perseverance that bordered on delusion. Here I am, aware of my mortality, still full of loving. That no one has wanted to share my joy really feels like y'all's problem more than me. And I laugh because the catch is now that I find this stillness in agony, in trauma response, in what is a very profound anxiety attack, the minute I regain my calm after recovering from cognitive load in these years of relative isolation, driven by increasing disability and invisibility as an aging woman who looks hopelessly white. Oh, when I stopped thinking about life as a tragedy and really a farce, it makes so much sense why I look like I do. Of course, I would look so much like those in my nightmares. The same face that contorted with hate my name like a curse as I looked up with a child's eyes, now gazes wearily back from me in the mirror. I am so tired of pain. Suffering has done all it can do. But alas, here we are. 4 vomiting episodes into another day of questionable digestion. But I'm used to throttling humor out of the shittiest situations, like the ongoing short stories about incursions through a wormhole that opens up into someone's colon, that have become mini entertainment as I groan in delight. Well, no, regret. It's really regret. Yeah, very much regret. Delight in the story, regret in the food choices. I am not a masochist. Another reason I settled on this being a farce. And yet here we are. If I felt better, I would be laughing. On the inside, I am finally letting myself be grounded in this delight I come to so eagerly. Flow can be nearly effortless, as frictionless as the stylus on the screen. This is the standard by which I judge my worth. As I struggle with things as fundamental as sleep and control of my practical mind, I pour my foundation here in this resilient creating, whether it comes out in word or art, in a form to taste or ghastly. So much of what I have written was wrong, even when I got every detail right about what was said and done, because I based my value and actions on how others perceived me to the point of denying my personal safety. When my mother said in such shame that she could not live with herself if she were me, I saw that as the right and just reaction. And now that I can stand fierce and strong in my loving, doing that which scares me witless, staying so surreally aware as the panic that the body still feels screams awkwardly beside the bliss of my longing, but unable to be heard. The compassion I have found for the mess I am in this heartbeat forgives everything. Again, because I keep falling back into patterns, because this world has given me no role models for joy coexisting with explosive diarrhea, while all living inside the embrace of patient, easily amused loving. For everyone else, love might be an adjective, but my redemption flows from my pen. I am loving in letter, in line, in a world that, to the level it feels overwritten, implausible, has left me alone to draw and poem and thus live in loving even now. Holy kittens. I do want a good, solid wine every now and then. But I had a visitor today. A conversation. Broke bread. Sold my wheel and pottery. And now the house is warm for I could buy fuel. Oh, if I could feel my feet better, they would be nicely toasted. Oh, and my neck and head are not as viciously angry about the cold. As I have panicked and written, I soothed more rough edges off my truth. Honestly, I have the feeling I will look back on these years of frustration and vulnerability as the time I learned to love as I breathed and surrender the rest to change and time. And this gift is one I give myself, knowing full well that my satisfaction will be a red flag to so many who love to piss on another's joy. I know it. And I remain in the truth of tonight's rambling yearning that led me back to this glorious, irrelevant, joyous love. If you were here, no, no, no. Tonight, right now, recently made human by a hug, I'm enough. This is perfectly wonderful, and I rest contented.